Art is the wild inner garden that you can tend and grow into a thing of beauty. Art is about love. It's about access to love. Art is our lives, every single tiny, beautiful moment. Welcome, beautiful ones. This is Joy Dialogues. I'm Marlo Mackenzie. The series is called 42 Days of Joy. This is a storytelling series. The intention in me sharing the stories is that you will be empowered by them or inspired. In this particular episode, the focus is on making your life art. So if you're feeling anything like a lack of purpose, disconnection, monotony, you're just kind of bored with your routine, maybe there's some stagnation going on in your life, this video could really resonate with you. And I'm going to share a story with you about how I first shifted into this perspective. And it involves a doof in the Australian bush and a challenge to try something new every day. So my workmate came up to me and my partner at the time, Michael, and he was like, "Hey, do you both want to go to a doof?" And we were like, what's a doof? We had been living in Australia for a while, but we had never heard this word. And he's like, oh, it's like a party, it's a dance, and you have fun, and it's out in the bush. And we were like, okay, let's do it. Let's go to a doof in the bush. For me, the timing was amazing because I had just graduated from a program, and it was like the universe bringing me a gift to kind of have this celebration of all of the work that I'd done. It was perfect. Also, my partner and I had this running game going where it started because one day he turned to me and he just said, some people say that you should try something new every day or do something new every day. And he was looking at it from a scientific perspective, that it would give your brain new challenges and you would develop more synapses in your brain, and it would be very healthy for you, and you would become smarter and you'd push your boundaries, and it would create more questions. And I was just like, oh yeah, let's do it. That sounds fun. And so together we embarked on this idea of trying something new every day. We definitely didn't do it every single day. It's a tall ask if you try, but we aimed for it. And so we definitely did it as much as we could, and it turned into this like really bonding game for us. I remember there are just some examples in case you would want to integrate this into your life, because part of creating art or turning your life into artwork is viewing the world from a child's perspective, kind of this like child mind, or this mind of an artist, someone creative, where you see the world as your canvas, where you playfully approach each day. And so for me, that's when this perspective really started. And so my partner was German, and sometimes I would be like, okay, teach me a new German word. And I remember one of the words he taught me was Schadenfreude. And that means taking pleasure in somebody else's pain. One of the games was I would try to use the word as much as I could that day, but I used the word in a way that was inappropriate, just to kind of like playfully tease my partner, which he liked. Because we were always very playful with each other. And he'd be like, where do you want to go for lunch? What do you want to have? And I'd be like, I'm in the mood for a Schadenfreude sandwich with mustard. And he'd be like, okay, nice one. Or I remember he went through this week or 2 weeks even, where he was his goal was to make up as many ridiculous nicknames about me as he could. That was one of his games that he did. One day he came home and I was like doing a headstand. So the new thing for that day was a headstand. Oh my gosh, are we getting cheesy or what? But you know what? Cheesiness is good stuff, right? Vegan cheese, regular cheese, good cheese, it's all good. One day I was walking in the central business district. And they'd always have the best trash there. They threw out this huge, massive, like foam core piece with a model, the photo of a model pasted onto the foam core. And it was about 8 feet tall and maybe 3 feet wide. And I took that home and I was like, I'm doing a new thing. I'm gonna be a painter. And okay, that didn't last very long because I didn't, at the time anyway, I didn't really have a vision for what I would paint. But I ended up pasting receipts onto this foam core, and it was going to be this mixed media thing and a statement on consumerism. So we had this foam core in our apartment for like 2 years, but we both thought it was more interesting than our blank wall. There are so many things you could think of, and I might do an entire part 2 just to bring out some games that you could do with that. So the Doof, when the Doof came along, it was exactly aligned with our current game of like, try to do something new. Neither of us had gone to a Doof. My friend pulls up with his 2 other friends, a man and a woman, and they're in this really rickety van, and we're gonna drive for 3.5 hours out to this countryside area where the Doof was being held. And Michael and I just looked at each other like, oh my goodness, we're not gonna make it in that van. But we were like, well, we're trying to do something new. So we were in the van, and suddenly the van swerves and the driver just kind of jerks upwards, and we realized, whoa, he had nodded off a little bit. And it was clear that he needed someone else to drive, and Michael was like, do you want me to drive? And he was like, no, it's fine. And so he's driving, and then a few more sessions, he swerves again and he swerves again. So we end up pulling off the freeway, and he's like, I think I just need some air, maybe if I take a break. And then we're at this red light, and I remember really clearly, all of us, we just like looked to the right, and there was this little toddler on a tricycle, and I think that, yeah, the toddler had a cowboy hat on and cowboy boots, and the toddler's like riding this tricycle, and then the toddler falls over, and all of us kind of looked at each other, and then the guy driving, you can drive, he says to Michael. And it was a collective recognition that this was a sign from the universe that the driver was impaired and needed to hand the wheel over. So thank you to the toddler, who was that very significant sign for us. We get there and at 10 at night, and it was beautiful. It was just really beautiful. It was on this beautiful piece of land, and everyone was just nice. And, you know, I went out and danced, and we had fun. And what I did is, after I tired myself out from dancing, I just sat down and I journaled. I wrote, art is about love. It's about access to love, not so much materials, because art can be every single moment. You must not only love yourself to be loved, you must love the moments you make of your life, even as you weep, even as you bleed, even as you cry in pain. Love the sense of freedom, the release it offers, a sense of knowing that a bullet has been extracted from its pustullated encasing, and there it is, shredding the canvas and the clay, the pixel matter. There it is, an offering. Art is proof that thoughts become matter. Art is proof that imagination exists outside of time and becomes real as we learn to time travel through any and all of the means we know. Drugs, rock and roll, sex, love, devotion, spirituality, discipline, dance. And then I wrote, doof, 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 doof. Art is anything produced with creative energy. And so art is a scientific breakthrough. Art is an act of love. Art is an act of defiance on the war-torn front lines. Art is a peace offering. Art is beauty celebrated. Art is ugliness respected. Art is perception perceived. Art is a longing for omniscience. Art is dying, and art is living like waves beating at the shore. Art is a rock mistaken as an object, but intact, a living creature with secrets to tell, with lessons to offer, if only we took the time to listen. Art is possibility, all of the possibility and greatness we hold inside, waiting to be born into reality, beyond canvas, beyond digital screen, where it can experience itself. It is also the ugliness. They are held in equal value, and we decide which we hang on our walls, which we live with, which we inhale. Art is the wild inner garden that you can tend and grow into a thing of beauty. Art is the quiet grace you knew all along was there, the land that anchors the morning sun greeting the field of dancers. Art is our lives, every single tiny, beautiful moment. Sitting there, writing in my journal, we danced all night, we watched the sunrise, and I knew that I would commit to this viewpoint of my life, that I would see it as art, all of it in its beauty and its pain. And I hope that there's something in there that inspires you, and I'd love to hear your stories. How do you experience your life? If you have questions for me, or if you want to talk about certain things in this video, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you so much for your time and for your presence and for being here.